All right. What's up, sippers? Welcome to a special version of Tea and Champagne Podcast. Tonight, Tea and Champagne Podcast goes political. And we have a special guest with us. We have a candidate, District 5 candidate, Dennis Clark, on our show tonight. How you doing today, Dennis?
Hey Lena, hey G. Thanks
Hey
for having
y'all.
me on Tea and Champagne. And I am missing my champagne.
I am
I should have,
too.
it's like I'll do
We
like
are too.
I would do, is that what y'all typically do?
We
Yeah.
we have been slacking a bit
Yeah.
on our
On our
standard
champagne tip. Yeah.
champagne sip, but our
Maybe that
champagne
could be
is
our part two. That'll be our part two.
with us
After I
in
Okay.
win,
spirit.
after I
Yeah.
win,
After we
I'll
win,
come
then
and
Yes.
do
we
an
all
Yes.
about
exclusive.
celebrating.
We'll
Yes,
have to have a celebratory champagne.
that's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
But thank you for coming.
Thank you
We
for
are
having
very
me.
happy to have you.
Yes. So, but there's so much tea, political tea, that we want you to spill about your campaign, Dennis, because we're so excited to have you. But before we do have some housekeeping notes that we got to take care of. Sippers, of course, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, you can email us at
Yep.
teaandchampagnepod@gmail.com. We would love to have you. We are very welcoming on our podcast. So just always remember that. Also, you guys need to subscribe to our podcast. We do have a YouTube channel, and you guys need to follow us. We are small, but we are growing and we are getting larger. So we would like for you to be updated and subscribe on everything Tea and Champagne has coming your way. We also want to promote, since it is political season, Chattanooga Business Elite is having a turn up and vote
Hmm.
party this Saturday, March 1st, and you will be able to meet all the candidates of Chattanooga, Tennessee for each district, your district. I know Dennis is a part of District 5. There is a District 9 candidate, Brian Elliott, along with Daw Sanders, Corey Hall. There's so many young people and intelligent people that are running in this season to be councilmen. So you guys got to come out and support. We also want to give a shout out to Chatham Matters, who has a website for you guys, or a video for
Hmm.
you guys to get to know all the candidates that are running this season. Dennis has a video on there as well. So yes, there's just so much information you do not want to miss out in this important election. So yeah, sippers, do your thing. You don't want
Sippers,
to
do
miss
your
out. Get
thing.
make sure your voices are heard during this time. And we want to elevate Chattanooga itself. All right, B, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Lena. And I'm just going to echo everything that she said. Like she said, this is Tea and Champagne going a bit political this week. And I could not be more excited because this is like a first time for us. Dennis, you are our first political candidate that we've had to
Woo!
interview. That's growth on all parts. We are honored that you were, enabling us to do this with you. So thank you.
I'm
And
honored. I'm going to tell a quick 30-second blurb about how we
yeah,
met.
yes, because let's go.
And basically, I met Dee and Lena at an event through a mutual friend of ours, and we became like this weird, like living single group where we started doing our own social gatherings at Haley's house. And so we got politicians, media people, banking people, artists. Josiah was in our group. And so we are friends. I
Yeah.
like to think of us as the modern day Chattanooga living single group. Um, well, are we single? I don't know.
I
But
feel
anyway,
like
I'm
we
single.
still are. I think
Okay.
everybody still is.
We're still single? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. And so that's how we met. So I'm honored to be able to share what I do with
Hmm.
what you do, because when we're socializing, we don't really talk about politics, and we
No,
talk about life.
we
We talk
do.
about our relationships. And so thank you for allowing me to come on to Tea and Champagne to pop your political cherry, so to speak.
Thank you. I love it. You
And
are
I'm ready.
definitely,
I'm ready to start spilling the tea. So I don't know what the questions are.
well, we gonna get right into
I
it. We're
want to be
definitely,
transparent and open. I want
yes.
voters to know what's happening in the campaign.
Yes,
But I also
yes.
want to give the voters an opportunity to kind of get a little bit more insight about who I am as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think we have a diverse audience, and I think a lot of our sippers and a lot of our listeners are probably like me, still learning the dynamics of this whole election process on a local scale. You know, everyone highlights the presidential election, but our communities, we're starting to, I feel like we're starting to become more involved into the local scale of politics and what it means to be a district council member, or
Hmm.
what it means to be a constituent that needs to learn more about these council people and what they do. Like, I am so excited that we have someone in our circle who can educate us. So I'm proud of
Thank
you
you.
and all your work. I'm proud of all the candidates, and I'm proud of you in particular because I know you on a personal scale. So I'm excited. And like Lena said, chatamatters.com,
Yes,
that
good
was a
resource.
huge tool. Yeah, a great resource. That definitely helped me understand where everyone stood. And I appreciate you as a candidate for taking advantage of that resource and putting your
Yeah.
putting your input on there for people to have access, because I think that's the
Mhm.
problem for me personally when it comes to the local scale of politics. It's hard to find accessible websites that you could just go to real quick and
Get
get
what you
to
need.
it. Yeah, because I don't have the local news on my TV anymore. I'm just streaming everything. But I remember back in the day when I had local cable, I would see commercials all the time. So now, in exchange for that, we have social media. And Instagram was how I found out about chatamatters.com. So, candidates, if y'all know someone that hasn't put anything on there, or if you haven't put anything on there, take advantage of that site. Or listeners, if you know a candidate that you haven't seen on that site, let them know that that it's waiting on them.
Mhm.
So, without further ado, I'm gonna get into our questions, Dennis. Again, thank you for being here. We are with Dennis Clark, people, and he is, like Lena said, the city council candidate for District 5. And Dennis, just to kind of give listeners the region that you're going to be representing, Highway 58, that's Jersey Pike, or no? Like, tell
It is.
me. Oh, it is. Okay. Highway 58, Jersey Pike, Bonnie Oaks, like that area. Okay.
Wood Woodmore, Tally Road, Northmore Road. So
Okay.
basically goes from Woodmore, Galen Heights, Hillcrest, Indian Hills, Lake Hills, Murray Hills, and Washington Hills. Those are all
Perfect.
of the specific neighborhoods. Yeah,
So
Perfect.
that's a big district.
it
That's
is.
a
Yes.
very, very big district.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's why I wanted you to clarify that. I want everyone to understand the capacity of the
Yeah, it's big. It's
responsibility.
huge.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely understand the responsibility that you're volunteering for.
Mhm.
Okay. Slippers, that's where this district is. Okay. So if you live in any of those areas, please pay attention and please
Yes.
share this video to all the fellow constituents in that region. Okay. So I'm gonna start off by asking again, I use Chatter Matters and you already had questions lined up. So I just want to elaborate on a couple of them, dig a little deeper. Can you elaborate on maybe a specific example, one or two items where in your community there were certain items that were promised but did not come into fruition? You one of the questions, well, actually, you kind of introduced the segment on the site of why you're running, and you're running because there's still some change that you want to see implemented. So what's a couple of examples of things that were promised, in previous leadership that hasn't came into fruition yet?
Sure. I mean, I wish I didn't have to run for public office. But unfortunately, this is a job that we are applying for, and I'm applying for a job that didn't get done. And
Mm.
there were some specific things promised. Specifically, we'll start in Woodmore. We don't have a grocery store. Right now, if you live in Dalewood, Woodmore, Eastdale, the closest grocery store is in Ringo Road. And that's not fair. Now, I live in the Bonnie Oaks area in Cherokee Woods. I go to Highway 58. Still not far, but compared to everybody else in the city, this is where we get into the equity stuff, right? Because if you live in East Briner, you got a plethora of choice. Or if you live in Hickson or North Shore, it's just really odd that in the predominant black districts with an S, because this also impacts predominant black districts like District 9, which includes Avondale. Think about it. So this is actually bigger than District 5, because even if you live in Chattanooga, where do you go get groceries? And so right now, our closest grocer is on Ringo Road. Ringo Road is in the city of East Ridge. So Chattanoogans are going to another city to shop, and those tax dollars, that sales tax, what city does it go to? East Ridge. So not
Mm-hmm.
only are the people disadvantaged in not having a grocery store, we're missing out on that collection of sales tax that could go into what? Paving roads. So that was a promise that did not get fulfilled, and the current council just didn't work on it. In my first 100 days, I'm gonna convene a work group, and we're gonna start studying about how Ringo Road, one road, got 5 grocery stores, including 2 food cities. Is because they received a tax incentive. It's all about the money.
Mm.
People, you incentivize them to go, right? That incentive does not include my predominantly African American district of Woodmore. So that's an example of one thing that did not get done. Then you have our rec centers in my district. We're the only, everybody else don't got a renovation, including Avondale. Kudos to them. But we have not. And those centers are 20, 30 years old, probably, I'm guessing. Again, my purpose is making sure we get our fair share. The purpose of a city council person is a customer service representative. I don't even like to refer to myself as a city council person because you're my customer. Taxpayers are my customer. Voters are my customers. And so those are just some examples of that, what didn't get done, from grocery stores to filling potholes, making sure that our tax dollar renovate our buildings. And I'm going to use my relationships. As you guys know, I have a plethora of them. And I want to say, hey, what about the people in District 5? Because we've been left out. So I'm applying for a job that did not get done. And I'm going to use my experience in community development and my relationships to try to. I can't make any promises, but I will promise you that I'm going to work on it and show some results.
Thank you for being so candid. That's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what I was hoping
Okay.
for.
I
Just
didn't
a
want to, I'm
little.
trying not to be long winded. Yeah, but
Well, no, I think you got to the point and you specified some details that were
okay.
not indicated otherwise to where I've read already. So thank you.
You're
Mm-hmm.
welcome.
Okay, Janice. So my question is, what initiatives do you have planned to enhance the community's health infrastructure? And
Woo, my
what
favorite.
are your steps and your timeline?
My steps and my timeline. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't know that I do own a business. It's called Core Transit. We operate a bus system for children Monday through Friday. Excuse me, for our city's largest daycare. But my full time job is that I am the community impact consultant for 25 counties for the Tennessee Department of Health. And so I spend the majority of my time building out public health strategies for different health departments in rural communities. So this is a topic that I'm particularly passionate about. Answer your question specifically, Lena. In my community, we are an aging community, seniors, okay? Like black people who were teachers, judges, who owned their houses. We are a community of homeowners. And they have these beautiful ranches. I don't know if y'all have relatives who live in like Lake Hills and streets in like Evergreen and Woodmore, and
Hmm.
these beautiful mid-century ranches. I actually live in one in Cherokee Woods. These people are homeowners, but they're aging. And so one of the projects I want to specifically do is that we lost our Eastgate Senior Activity Center. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed. Yeah, I noticed that.
We were leasing the space, and so now they've moved them to Glenwood and combined them with the children. And I think seniors need their own specific space. We
Yeah.
have Carver Center, East Chattanooga Rec Center, and Avondale all on top of each other, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to see if we can close one of those, probably East Chattanooga, and repurpose it specifically for senior activities. And I would love for us to put a health component to that, like a clinic, pharmacy, because I'm like, if you're going to go in there and do aerobics and, you might want to pick up your prescription and do some other therapeutic things. And so that's a specific project as it relates to health and senior care, that I would like to work with other council people. So hopefully Ron Elliott in District 9, who shares that center with my district. That's one project that I would like to see come to fruition, because seniors want to, they're aging, but 70 is the new 50. Like, they're living
Yeah.
longer and they're more active. So I want to see a dedicated senior community center with a health clinic component to it.
I think that's very important.
I do too.
And I like that you have that as a strategy because, I don't know if you're when I was growing up, my grandmother didn't really have a place to hang out. She made her own fun, but as far as like a senior activity center where they can thrive and line dance, sorry, or even just a place to mingle. And it does separate the fact like there are a group of seniors that are together that can mingle, but they're not in a home or something,
Yeah,
like a living facility. Like this is the place for them to just still live.
yeah,
And I think that that is
it's important.
a great idea that you could implement for our seniors.
Yeah, and healthcare is my industry, so that's a really good that's a yeah, that's a really good question that I wanted you to answer because
Yeah,
healthcare, it's applicable to everyone. Nobody
yes,
is abstained from the quality of their health. Like we're
Hmm.
all subjected to the quality of our well-being across all generations and across all age groups. But I'm glad that you're concentrating with our seniors as well
yes,
because
yes.
people are
It's a
living
vulnerable
longer.
population, and it's a
Yeah,
vulnerable population group. Like, the type
Yeah.
of work we do in healthcare, we work to end disparities and to help those in need. And
yeah,
oftentimes we forget about seniors.
yeah,
We have a culture where we put our seniors in homes. We don't let them live with us anymore. So creating a senior activity center with a health component is what we call a social determinant of health, as you know.
yeah,
And having them active and involved in access to healthcare in their activity center, I think will help drive some of those health disparities down among seniors and just keep them active. More line dancing. I mean, I want to
yeah,
go hang
yeah.
out with the seniors. So
Yeah.
I hope that comes into fruition and
thank
all
you.
of our healthcare
Yeah.
community
Because
partners
those
chime
seniors
in.
that were dancing, I don't mean to cut you off, Dee, but those seniors
No,
that
it's
was
okay.
dancing at the Glass Street Block
Yes,
Party, they were outside living. Like we couldn't
living.
keep up with them. We said
Yeah.
that we were tired. They was like, why?
Come on.
So, and let's segue into the next question because we are still talking about seniors, but what ways could you work on reducing crime in general, and increase public safety for seniors?
So I believe we need to create what's called an opportunity development plan. You often hear about a violence reduction plan. I believe, going back to health, that our crime issue is a public health crisis, mostly
Mhm.
because we have Black men who are disproportionately dying to gun violence. So I think we have to look at it as a health epidemic.
Mhm.
Right now in the white community, their epidemic is opioid misuse. And so they have the money, the resources, and they're doing all type of reduction measures and whatnot. And in our community, our young men, as you've seen in the news, are shooting people at clubs, right in our districts. I really do believe, Lena, that we have to be very specific in looking at why, because here's the correlation. It's poverty and education. So what we've learned is that young men who do not graduate high school typically get into the system, right? Whatever it is, disproportionate contact with the police, juvenile justice, like it's all a correlation to, like, if you're poor and did you finish school? And so when we identify these young men in middle school who are struggling, I think we need to put them on a trajectory or a path that says, okay, wait a minute. Tyrone is having some issues. He's not going to do the traditional graduate high school like us.
Mhm.
Let's maybe link him with a skill trade. Because I'm just going to be honest, I don't believe in the traditional GED, high school diploma. It's not for everybody. And
Mhm.
that's where we have missed the mark. And we missed that generation. And then that generation goes, well, I don't have a 4 year degree. I don't have a master's, but I'm not less than. We have labeled them less than. Then they start hustling. They start, doing other things. And so we need to create an opportunity path in education that when educators know how to deal with Black boys who maybe we think is behavioral. I think it's just a cultural misinterpretation sometimes by people who are not of color, who don't understand our cultural
Mhm.
norms and how we talk and how we behave, and they may label that as a behavioral issue. And so I think we want to answer the question directly. Let's find the issues in education first. Secondly, we need to make sure our men, once they become adults, and they're not going to chat state or whatever, we need to make sure they're in unions and they're getting these union jobs, because I have some union friends who make more money than I do, as a pipe fitter. Okay. And so I think if we want to reduce crime, I think we have to increase opportunities, because I tell people, if you're working, making money, you ain't got time to be out here trying to sell weed or break into somebody's car, and gang bang, because you're making money, and you don't have
Mhm.
to hustle to do those things. And so that's my thoughts and ideology. I think there are many pathways, and I'm open to learning what they are. I think there are many ways to do it. So when I'm elected, I'll be curious to learn, but I think we just need to create more opportunities for Black men. I'm sorry. That's what I believe.
Yeah. I think that's real.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's real.
Yeah.
I
And
think
I
I
like your
think
perspective.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to benefit the economy in general, in addition
Mhm.
to, hopefully the reduction of crime. But I think, like you said, there's so many pathways, and that's a strong one. And I'm gonna flip the table a little
Okay.
bit because I know you tapped into a bit on road hazards with the potholes and the
Yeah.
conditions of the streets. With Highway 58 and the
Mm.
Brainerd corridor, what's the plan to develop that area? What's the plan to develop Highway
Girl,
58
they
and the
don't have a
Brainerd
plan.
streets? What's gonna be your,
Right. I was like,
your
that's
path
the
to that?
problem. They don't have a plan. We're always hearing about the river to the mountain plan and the North Shore plan, the stadium plan, the Bend plan. And, I enjoy, just like we do, we enjoy downtown amenities. The parks, the visitors, it's fun. But when we go home, you know, I want to make sure that as a taxpayer, that my own home and my own roads and my own corridors have viable restaurants, vibrant areas. And I noticed again, and I talked about this earlier, if you compare Brainerd Road and Highway 58 to the other major corridors and thoroughways, East Brainerd, booming. Hell, you even got some areas in Sidey Daisy, North Hamilton, that they're starting to prepare that infrastructure for, because people are moving out there, but our corridors are ill developed. On Brainerd Road, we have a influx of plasma centers. I tell people, please give blood, please give plasma, but that has caused a lot of vagrancies, right? But it's in our neighborhood. I know everybody's like, well, not in my backyard. But I was like, why? Well, who else backyard? Why got to be just all in our backyard? And so when we look at places like Brainerd Road, I want us to look at what we're attracting. And it shouldn't just be plasma centers and check advance places and bake shops. I really would like for us to invest in African American businesses, to give them some land, to help them build other things other than barbecue pits and salons. I was like, we are an expanded race of people who can do a lot, but there's no plan for development for Highway 58 or Brainerd Road. And I hope to look at redo some zoning that would help development,
Okay.
including bringing a grocery store back to Brainerd Road.
Yeah.
So, in my first 100 days when I'm elected, I will be releasing a strategic plan on how we can work with the chamber, how we can
Hmm.
work with the state representatives about expanding the incentive zone. And these are just all ideas. I don't have all the answers, but I'm definitely going to work on a plan, and that has not been done.
And I assume if we can enhance the economy side of it, we get tax dollars that will also contribute
Come back to us.
to,
That's right.
yeah.
It's a
Okay.
circular life economy. I
Yeah.
mean, when I talk to people on Highway 58, there's like, "Where's our Chick-fil-A?" I was like, where's our nice sit-down restaurant? And there's a lot of people who live there.
Yeah.
There's no
True.
plan for it.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. There is no Chick-fil-A on
Mhm.
Highway 58. I know we was talking about a post about a real nice restaurant on that block, but they don't even have a
Mhm.
Chick-fil-A.
No
I didn't even
TGI
bring
Yeah, they
that up.
don't.
Friday, no Chili's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear you, Dennis. Okay.
So I want to make our space a destination space, just not for tourism, but for residents, right? We
Yeah.
live here. When the tourists bounce on us and they pay a little hotel tax and eat at our restaurants, which is fine, we love that. But our spaces and our neighborhoods need to be developed and vibrant destinations to eat, play, and live.
Okay. So I like that you mentioned having constituents become more engaged with the
Yes.
governing process, right? And
Mhm.
you want to enhance and increase the communication and give them access through digital newsletters and increase the forums and strengthen the neighborhood associations, right? So in addition to increasing newsletter access and having that digital communication and having more forums, do you have any other ideas that would also strengthen the neighborhood associations and
Yeah,
all the groups that work with those organizations?
we've got to do a better way in engaging seniors who are not as techno savvy. They're not all on Facebook. They're not texting, but they are a very active voting block of people who decide our election. I'm going to be real with you. And so I've got to figure out a way how to engage them, maybe in their churches. I tell people senior citizens still go to church. So maybe I should do a town hall and feed them dinner after church because you're already there. Like, wouldn't that be something outside of the box? Like, oh, Dennis Clark is having a town hall meeting in the fellowship hall and he's feeding you spaghetti, fish and spaghetti, and we're going to be talking about zoning, right? And so we got to think outside of the box on how to engage people where they are. So that's something we've never done before, right? In our neighborhood associations, we have some pockets like Galen Heights, big neighborhood, right? They're not a they're not an officially formed neighborhood. So when I am elected, I am going to officially uh, incorporate or create those groups and help them with like robocalls, sending out text messages and say, "Hey, we got a neighborhood meeting tonight. Like, will you come?" And a lot of the times, people don't come because we don't do the outreach, and that's been the problem. Because then, when it's time to do elections, people are like, "Well, I ain't heard from 'em. I don't know what's been going on." And I
Mhm.
really believe, as a customer service representative, it is our job to engage the customer and say, can I educate you about what's happening? So those are we have to think outside the box and how we deliver and educate information to voters because a lot of people are not engaged because they don't know what's going on. And I think
Yeah.
it's our job as council people, as customer service representatives, to get it out.
I agree. I agree because
Yeah.
again, you have to meet people where they are.
You
That's
gotta meet
why
people
I
where
think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of people
I
take
like
advantage
that.
of, yeah, people take
I would do
advantage
it.
of different
Yeah,
avenues for that. Yeah.
I would do a meet and greet at the Dream. And that's another thing. We have a block of people between the ages of 18 and 30 who are not even voting or engaged.
Yeah. That's thinking outside the box will take you to that. Yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah.
the church is how you reach one demographic, Dream is another demographic, social media is
Yeah.
another
That's
demographic.
right.
So,
Use
yeah,
Yeah.
all avenues, yes.
I agree. I agree.
That
Okay.
is. Yeah.
So, Lena, I'm gonna
Did you
let you
have?
take us home. Yeah, you got it.
Was
Or
this the last question? Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
So excited.
Well,
This is so much fun.
lastly, referring to your advantage of your existing relationships in the community, which relationship will contribute to your mission and how so?
Well, I don't want to be cheesy, but it's relationships like these, right? Coming on, I asked to come here and because I was like, how do I, one, support what you're doing, tea and champagne? Because I know, since I've been y'all's friends, I know you're doing this. And what we have to do, and how do I say this? This is going to sound really kind of like I'm throwing shade, but maybe it is.
It's a safe space.
It's a
Dennis, this
safe
is a
space.
safe
Okay.
space.
Yeah,
Yes.
I always
Yeah,
have
it's
to,
safe
I
space.
always, don't have my team in the background, like, whispering to me in my ear saying, don't say that because other shows I've done, I've had to be very choreographed, but not here. So I'm with friends. But
Yeah,
my point is that Chattanooga is a very cliquish, has a very cliquish, false sense of popularity. And
Mm.
there are people who think they're more than what they are, and they're not doing anything, and it's just perception. Okay, does that make sense?
I hear
And
you.
so
Mhm.
you may think that these people are the people, the go-to people. You following me? That we have to build relationships with, but then we ask ourselves, it's the same results, which is nothing. Like we're always doing the same thing with the same people, and nothing happens. And I have very strong relationships with people who you would deem as very popular. And I'm gonna tell you something. I hate to say this, and I'm not calling anybody out, but those are the people who give the least money to campaigns. They're not knocking on doors. They're not doing anything. They just want to be seen and heard. They're do nothings. And so what I have learned is that we have to start leveraging relationships outside of the norm, okay? Because that has not been working for us. And when I say outside of the norm, because you guys are, I would say you guys are pretty popular people. Congratulations on your multiple BEC awards. So
Thank
hold
you.
on. I don't want you to
Thank
think I'm
you.
throwing shade at y'all, but I'm just
No,
saying,
I
like,
feel like we're a growing community.
you're a
We're
growing
Yeah.
still,
community.
yeah, I think
Mhm.
we're still humbled.
Yeah, that's right. You are. And I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And so to answer the question in short is that I want to leverage more relationships outside of the box, not with the status quo. I want to find more
Yeah.
people. I want to grow in their networks because they're not
Mhm.
engaged in politics. Like how y'all are doing this as an inaugural show for politics. Now I'm introduced to your networking audience who goes, well, I didn't even think about voting until Lena and D brought it up on Tea and Champagne. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
type of relationships, Lena, that I want to leverage more and get
Yeah.
outside of my box. Because people would think I'm a part of the status quo, and I have been. And I don't want to be a part of the status quo anymore because we're not getting results.
Yeah.
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 That's
I,
good. I like
yeah,
that answer
You
I
like
very
do
that?
much.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too, because I think, again, I can only speak to what I live, and right
Yeah.
now I'm living in this healthcare pathway for my work. And I would love for all of the candidates that win in their districts to reach out to different people in our industry within our doctor practices, within our regional hospitals, our hospitals in the within the districts or even outside the districts in rural areas or in
Hmm.
the main inner city part. Like it's such a huge opportunity within healthcare
Yeah.
for politics that I don't
Yeah.
see overlap
Everything is
a lot
politics.
of,
Yeah.
there's
It is
it's a
now
huge
specifically.
population reach, when
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
involved into that industry, or like with you getting involved into the media side of things, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother
Yeah.
industry,
Yes.
Mhm.
with youth and different age demographics and thinking outside the box through church access and through different ways to communicate education. The possibilities are endless if you're
Possibilities are
willing
endless. Yeah.
to get out of your comfort zone, I guess, and,
Hmm. Hmm.
be a trailblazer. So, yeah,
Like
I
y'all.
like your answer. It was politically
Thank you.
correct, I think. I don't think you said anything
Yeah.
offensive.
Okay. I just,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
No,
Chattanooga,
you're not throwing any shade.
we're in a
I
very
don't think,
sensitive,
yeah.
there's been a lot of interesting things happening in the atmosphere online,
Hmm.
with people getting attacked and people, even myself. And, I'm just very sensitive about being positive in the social media internet realm and
Mhm.
supporting us. Because it's been
So,
a lot of mess happening. You know what I
okay.
mean?
But no, I really appreciate you coming here on our platform and talking more about your campaign and the things that you have planned for the next 100 days. I did my part. I voted
I see
today.
that.
You see that?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you're not in my district, but that's okay. I still did my part. I'm in District
Good,
9. But,
good candidacy.
but I mean, I know you kind of said that you would like to kind of collaborate with one of the candidates over there too. So hopefully that you all are elected in those positions and we can see some growth within our city. So
Yes.
Yeah. And I
Yes.
also want to say thank you for, I know that this is your what, third or second time running for the seat?
Four. Well,
This is your
second
Your
time.
fourth.
fourth
So
time.
I ran for state house twice, and then I ran for this seat once, and because I lost in the runoff 4 years ago by 250 votes, which is why we're trying to push people to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well, I still think it's awesome that you are still trying to
Yeah, this is
persevere
it
through
though.
this
This is it.
election.
Yeah,
And I feel like you have a great policy.
thank you.
And hope, I mean, you're my friend too, so I may be a little
Yes, you are
biased,
my.
but
Yeah,
I still think whatever you bring, your personality, your mind, your intelligence, those are things that we need right now. And it's time to
thank you.
start, I think we need more young people. And,
Hmm.
you're my peer, but I feel like we need people at this age that's getting ready to, be in those seats and let's just have a good fresh start within
Yeah,
Chattanooga.
I
It's
agree.
our turn, right?
It's our
We're
turn.
we're the
It's
yeah.
our time.
trailblazers, so
It's
it's
our
our
time.
turn.
Yeah, I'm
So
looking forward
I'm
to
not,
all the results that will be delivered. And
Next
I'm
Tuesday.
voting,
yeah,
yeah, I'm voting in spirit because again, you're not in the
I
district I live
know.
in either, but I support
yeah,
everyone that's making the fight for change. Like I'm so
mhm,
happy that you guys are energized and that you guys are, caring about your community. So
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
congratulations.
you.
And we appreciate your time.
I love it. Thank y'all for
yeah.
having me.
So right before you go, we do set our intentions of the week. And we're gonna let you have a little bit of time to promote anything else that you have coming on. I'll go first as far as my, can y'all see me?
Yeah,
Perfectly well,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, it said reconnecting. So I'm gonna go first with my intentions because somebody is cleaning up. I will say that my intentions is to put out content. Let's get this episode out as soon as possible
Yes,
and continue to work on my health journey, my fitness journey. I'm going to the gym in the morning and I'm working on eating better. I said that I was going to give up drinking a little bit longer, maybe until it's time to go outside. So if
Listen.
we do your celebratory, I'm going to probably have some sparkling water.
please. I got some Prosecco. Oh, okay, never mind. I got Prosecco for you, though, just in
Everything's
case you
okay
turned
in
it off.
Okay.
moderation, friend. Everything in moderation.
Well, after this weekend, I did not like how I felt. So I'm just trying to, I'm
Well,
trying to,
you know what else is good? That sparkling grape juice is amazing.
It
Sparkling grape
is.
yeah.
juice
It
is
is.
so good. I feel like a good dupe. Okay. Well, I'll go next.
Okay.
I want to be intentional about exercising this week. I'm actually really excited because you mentioned Haley Dennis. She's a part of
Yes.
our Living
Yes. Our
Single
inner
Friend
circle.
group, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
And she's teaching this weekend. She has a pop-up class at the studio on Saturday at 9 a.m. And y'all forgive me if I'm getting the name of that venue wrong, but I plan to go. It's going to be like Afro beats, it's going to be cardio, there's going to be dance, and it's going to be fun. So my intention is to show up for that because I have been missing a lot of her pop-up classes, and I know she teaches at the YMCA downtown at around 12 every Monday, and I just cannot make that between my job and lunch and team meetings. So Saturday I'm gonna wake up early and do that because I'm like 9 o'clock I can make it. 8:30 is tough. Um, but 9 o'clock will push for it. And also, I want to be a better communicator. I feel like I have some room to grow in communication skills. And
Mm.
sometimes it takes someone to be a voice to you after living and you're not aware of how you communicate sometimes.
How you
When
come off? Yeah.
someone, yeah, when someone has a conversation with you, I want to be someone who takes it in, transitions that for, better growth. And I'll do that this week, but just moving forward. So those are two intentions that I have. And Dennis, I'll let you take us home. And if you have an intention you want to share or anything you want to promote, the floor
Yeah.
is yours.
Well, definitely, I want you to visit my website at dennisclark.org. I don't know when this will come out, but if it's out before Election Day, which is next Tuesday, March the 4th, I hope that you will do your research on candidates. I want people, don't wait for us to come find you. I tell people, if you can Google what the weather is so you know what to wear, you can Google who your candidates are so you know who to vote for. Okay? So
Absolutely.
please do your research and be more civically engaged. Go to dennisclark.org to learn more about our Thrive for Five action plan, which is on my website about specific things that we want to do in advocating for seniors, developing our major corridors, and just safer, stronger neighborhoods, right? Okay, intentionality, my favorite part. I had to do my little campaign plug. Okay, intentionality. Like, I am a person who oftentimes will neglect, because I want to be very intentional about the word usage. I neglect people who care about me because I'm like, I'm too busy. They have been so gracious to me to be like, oh, it's okay, Dennis. I know you're busy. I know you got a campaign, you run a business. And I've always said to myself, like, people do what they want to do. I can be doing 100 things an hour, but I'm going to make sure I use the bathroom, I'm going to make sure I eat. So people do what they want to do. And so one of the things I want to be more intentional about is loving on the people who give me the love I need when I'm selfish and when I want to be like, okay, I'm ready to deal with you now. And they deal with me. And so I want to make myself more available, be more intentional in the moments with those people, not rushing them off the phone, when they call me, because I think I have neglected my friends. Matter of fact, this group, you guys be like, you don't even comment in our chat anymore. So I want to be more intentional about being in the moment with the people who give me what I need. And I think the second thing I want to be intentional about, and I hope this hits home with people, is giving people more grace. Okay. None of us are perfect. And when we have our imperfected moments, sometimes it's not lived online for everybody to see on Front Street. And lucky for us, I tell people, if God actually disclosed everything about me, not only would y'all not want to vote for me, but y'all would probably run me out of town. It's not that bad, but I'm just saying, like, give people grace. When when they're not feeling well and their attitude may be a little sharp, give them grace. When they are probably dealing with grief and you don't know about it, and sometimes people deal with things they can't talk about, give them grace and smile more and make people feel uncomfortable, because behind the scenes, y'all, we never know what people are going through. And if we could just be nicer and give people grace, I think the world would be a better place. And so that's why I want to be more intentional about giving grace and being intentional about spending time with people who pour into me.
That's a strong note to end
I know,
on.
I'm
Thank you
sorry.
for
I almost
sharing
like got
that.
Yeah.
almost got teared up because it's very
No,
Yeah.
that's
personal.
real. I
Very
have to
personal
remember
for
that
me.
Yeah.
too. Give people grace and
Yeah.
give yourself grace
Hmm.
too.
Give
Yeah,
yourself grace too. Yeah, because we joke with you all the time, Dennis,
yeah.
about you
I know y'all are
being
joking, yeah.
MIA, but we know that you have a million things to do. But when we see you, we are always happy to see you. We
Yeah.
always want to take a
Yes.
picture
Absolutely.
with you
But I
for
can do better.
evidence.
I can do better, yeah.
We take pictures with you for evidence, so everyone can know that we did see Dennis. But
Yeah.
however, we love you either
Thank
way.
you.
Yeah,
I
no love
appreciate that.
lost because we all have
Yeah,
things that
we're adults.
overlap. We
Yeah,
can't be everywhere every time. I think we all
yeah.
just be in and out. So
Yeah,
we got
we
you.
got grace for you, and you've
Thank
Yeah,
been
we
you.
got
intentional with
grace.
us too.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all.
All
This was a good
right.
This is great.
conversation.
Ooh, I want to do this
I
Yeah,
again.
greatly appreciate it. I
Yeah,
learned a lot. So
yeah.
thank
yeah.
You
you.
have to come back
Likewise.
when you get elected, Dennis.
Yes. Let me make a promise, because last time I told y'all would be the first interview I did, and I did the podcast with, was it Chatham Matters? I can't remember what the name of the podcast was. But anyway, so when I'm elected, because I believe that is God's will for me, prayerfully, that I would love to come back and spill all the tea about what happened behind the scenes, and we will celebrate. We will celebrate not with tea, but with
Okay.
wine, with
Yeah.
champagne.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, you're still our first candidate. So that's still
Wow.
Yeah.
it's pretty major.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me be the first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
All right. Let's
sippers,
go
thank y'all
ahead
for
and wrap it
listening.
up. Yeah, Sippers. And don't forget to go to the CBE Turn Up and Vote party on March
It's at
1st.
March
March
1st,
the
this Saturday,
1st from
First,
8
at
p.m.
the Cigar International Shop
in
in
East
East
Yes,
Ridge.
Ridge.
in East
Yes.
Ridge. 8
Yes.
p.m. to
And also
midnight.
8 p.m. to midnight. And also don't forget to vote on March 1st. If you haven't already, the last day to vote is probably when for early voting is probably when we're going to air this episode. So,
Yep.
all right. Well,
Bye.
thank y'all. Bye.
Bye, good night.